What is the point of having limiting beliefs? What is the purpose for defending your own limitations? So we begin tonight's session with two of those questions. And spoiler alert, they both contain the same answer. There's no actual justification for holding on to your own limitations, of being trapped in an identity that you yourself want to break away from. Pattern that you want to break. You want to effectively destroy and build something new. Actually create something better. And these limiting beliefs, what they do, they anchor us into thinking that we can't move. It's like we're in a tar pit. They just drag us down, drag us down, drag us down. And we come to believe in those dark moments, this is all that we're even good for. This is actually, our entire life was just meant for us to have this realization that we belong in this pit and we're never going to get out of it. I'm not being dramatic either. I believe that to be true. And the persistence of these limiting beliefs goes along with their own familiarity. How often we've indulged them, we've allowed them to kind of fester in our minds, collected like micro proof, so then each time we encounter a similar situation, or an even vaguely familiar situation, we automatically know what the outcome is. Right? We automatically know it's going to go this way because of this. Oh, if I do it, it's going to be a problem. If I go here, it's going to be a problem. If I do this, I'm going to fail. I can't make more than this amount of money. I can't date this kind of person. I can't go here. I can't drive that kind of car. Etc., etc., etc. I can't. Notice who's saying that. Notice who's telling you that. Mind, our own mind, is our greatest ally, our most powerful foe. Our own mind. We have the power to accept where we are at, see it as opportunity for growth, or to accept where we are at as a point of finality. As growth or as finality. As a jumping off point or as a nail in the coffin. Both of those options are freely available to us at any given time. And the pain that we go through, these limiting beliefs, really draw out of us. They expose us to it. It's a powerful motivator in itself. You know, they say that pain is a great teacher. It is. I've found that out firsthand. It really is, because it not only says something about who you are and where you're at, but also how you view yourself when you're going through that pain. Are you gentle with yourself? Like almost as though a friend was there next to you, comforting you? Are you hard on yourself? Pouring salt in the wound, kicking yourself when you're down? Getting berated? That's indicative of your own relationship to that pain itself. And when we experience that, all those limiting beliefs can come up at once, showing us that we can't do it. It just isn't enough. It's just never enough. That's a lie. It's a lie. You never needed to be enough. Right? I am enough. Okay? Say it. Matter of fact, I am enough. You don't have to yell it. I mean, you can if you want. Say it matter of factly because that's exactly what it is. It's a fact. As long as you know that. As long as you know it. You'll never not. That's the beauty of it. But expect some resistance, especially as you're moving into this new chapter, this new era almost of your life. You know, you want to become unrecognizable. You can't get something for nothing. You can't get something for nothing. That's not how that works. You want to become unrecognizable, you have to be the person that is unrecognizable. From the person that you are right now. I'll say that again. You want to become unrecognizable. You have to be the person that is unrecognizable to the person that you are right now. This can be achieved. This is achievable. If it wasn't achievable, it wouldn't exist on the spectrum of desires. The quantum field, however you want to think of it. Okay, I like the quantum field. That's how I think. Highly recommend it. I think it's pretty cool too. But this isn't like a physics or pop physics 101 or whatever. Okay? I just use it to illustrate a point. And also, before I forget, really examine, really genuinely look at what's behind those limiting beliefs. For example, right, I'm gonna give you all a free one, okay? I appreciate you. Say relationships, right? Like, I cannot get into a relationship. I cannot get into a healthy relationship. I don't know what emotional intimacy even is. It might be a myth. I don't know what it is. I don't know. What is that saying? What is the substance behind that? It's that you are lacking in someone. That you need another person to give you validation, to tell you that you are enough. You need this person to make up for something that you don't have. Okay? So obviously you're never going to get it. Because you're coming at it from a fundamental perspective of lack and desperation. Right? Like internal. You're desperate for it internally. When you realize that you are already enough for walking embodiment, universal energy of light, equal parts light and dark. It's a dance. Okay, they're not mutually exclusive. It's a dance. You realize that, then your views on relationships start to change. Okay, and even if it doesn't happen overnight, and like the shift itself can happen overnight, but what you expect to see in your outer reality is not going to happen overnight. That's just the way it goes. But if you persist in that, okay, none of this is new information. If you persist in that, it will be reflected back to you. It has to. That's what we've been doing our entire lives. My entire life, right? Before the vast majority of my life, I should say. I was very negative. I was a very negative person. I had severe anxiety. I was depressed. Yeah, I was just like, man, this sucks. You know, I didn't sign up for this, bro. Last I checked, I didn't click the terms and conditions to join this trial. Man. I've been trying to cancel my trial, actually. They won't let me. Okay, so I didn't sign up for any of this. This is a joke. I don't find it funny anymore. Okay? I went out. That's where I was at, right? How do you think my life was? Take a guess. Wasn't good, man. Was not good. I was truly miserable. And looking back, even when I hear the echoes of that life of remnants, I really can see how far I've come. When you get in those dark moments and you're like, man, I'm exhausted. Like, I haven't even done anything today, and I am exhausted. Couldn't tell you why. Like, mentally, I'm just like, I must have checked out before I woke up. I must have checked out while I was still dreaming, because this is crazy. Straight up crazy. That's why we have to remember how far we've come. And I'm going to keep reiterating that, and I'm going to keep beating a dead horse. And I'm going to keep resurrecting the horse. We have to remember how far we've come, because it's very tempting just to get stuck in those limiting beliefs and really become a prisoner and become beholden to it. When in reality, in actuality, the prison, those that we are in, these limiting beliefs, we hold the key. You just get up, open the jail cell, walk right out, and the prison would crumble all around us, like the mental construct that it is. We have to make that decision of getting up and walking out of that prison. Really, effectively, you're walking out into the unknown, because it's very easy and it's very comforting to hold on to those limiting beliefs, because that's what we know, right? So I can say that stuff about relationships because that's what I know, right? Because I believe that's to be my truth, right? But it's a lot easier to do that. Stay safe, right? Your nervous system wants to keep you safe, even if you're miserable. It doesn't care. It doesn't care if you're miserable. It doesn't care if you're the happiest person on the planet. It just cares if you're safe. Okay, so we gotta keep that in mind. It wants to keep you safe. So you do all that because it's easier stepping out into the unknown and living in that uncomfortable, just at times debilitating, painful period. You're like almost between phases. Like the old, you're not in the old anymore, but you're not in the new anymore either. You're kind of like in the in-between, man. And you're like just ebbing and flowing and ebbing and flowing. And one day is better than the next. And the next day's horrible, and then ebbing and flowing and ebbing and flowing. It's uncomfortable. It's like growing pains. Very uncomfortable. But they're necessary. They have to happen. They have to occur. The only way you're ever going to find that out is to directly experience it yourself. We all have our own limiting beliefs. We can choose to live the rest of our lives being defined by them. Take that leap of faith, knowing that the leap itself is proof of our own progress. The fact that we're even considering it is proof that the old identity is fading away. Because I'll tell you right now, brothers and sisters, the old identity would not consider that. That wouldn't have even been a thought. There's no need. It's like, no, that's crazy. No. Why would I do that if it's going to fail? Right? Like, you just assume failure right off the get. You're standing on the precipice. You're going to take that leap of faith to a new journey, an unknown adventure. But you know that you have to do it. You can't go back anymore. You can't go back. There's only one way you can go now. Like I said, you can't get something for nothing. You got to keep that in mind when we're going through pain, anguish. We want the whole thing to be over, you know? You have to recognize that realization emphatically. It's emphatic proof. The inner growth that we have had. It's emphatic proof of our own self-understanding. We have to realize that, and we have to remember that. I don't want to belabor a point. But I did want to come on here tonight and be like, no point in having limiting beliefs. Even better, there's no incentive to holding on to those limiting beliefs. If you want to be new, you have to step into the new. And that's scary. It genuinely is very uncomfortable. I'm not gonna lie. Especially when you hear the remnants of the old self. Very lonely, and at times just brutal. Brutal. Think of it like a sculpture being refined. Strike of the chisel, being cut, molded into a beautiful, true image. True to the art, true to the form. With that in mind, we can move into the new. Actually ready. As always, thank you for watching. God bless each and every one of you, brothers and sisters. As always, remember who it is that you are. Recognize the one that you are. God bless.